Here it is, Motorfest's most splendid surprise to date. Since they couldn't possibly take you to Ferrari's supercar exhibition, they brought the exhibition to you. But we're not stopping there. We are going to ride those magnificent creatures. As Motorfest's archivist, it is my great privilege to accompany you on what promises to be a memorable experience. You will not only be driving Ferrari's greatest cars, you will also be reliving the joy, excitement, and unique thrill that their best drivers feel on the track every single day. And you also get to marvel at their latest creation. In any case, this is a special occasion, a true celebration of Ferrari.
So we can... Continue our journey, driver.
Hey friend, tell me, isn't your Kara a little emotional? Got an email from her kind of asking us to stop interrupting her job. She seemed a little pissed, saying that even robots can have feelings, stuff like that. Well, I guess we kind of overstepped here.
An AI making a scene. Wow. Peak modernity right there.
Anyway, we'll let her tell you about the grand finale. See you on the grid, my friend.
Well, these guys weren't supposed to mention this to you, but... Never mind.
Beat them all already? Just the lower ranks, apparently. Now each team is playing their trump card.
Good kitties.
Check out these cars, man. They're clearly bigger cats.
Doesn't matter, does it? These guys are still cats. We are dragons. This is a battle royale between the 5 street racing teams. Only one member of each group gets to race, and you're the one racing for the pack.
Lucky.
Officially passing the torch, big brother?
Just this one time.
Oh my god. Goosebumps. Literally.
You can drive Wengen style on that speedway, which means really fast. Just watch out in these tunnels.
Does that car ring a bell, driver? driver? We spoke about it in the Liberty Walk playlist. This is the Liberty Walk version of the 92 Honda NSX. Oh, man. Yeah, that's Shingo's dream car. Basically the same NSX as he always drives, except for this one's been in the hands of the master Wataru Kato, which brings it to a whole new level.
I want to drive that car.
Yeah, you and me both, brother.
Got it, driver? That car's a unicorn.
For the firepower contest that is the final race, this special NSX will do nicely.
Give them an inch.
You win this race, my friend, and it'll be an overwhelming victory for the pack. That's what we're shooting for, right?
Always.
Looks like you guys are for real after all. You won this Made in Japan thing. Now come and get us out there. See what happens.
Sounds like an invitation, friend.
Don't forget. This is an outstanding. Resuming progression on the playlist. This activity promises to be engaging. Anything specific you'd like to try? Ready for the next objective? Good to go. This is Ferrari Supercars, a partnership with the Enzo Ferrari Museum of Modena. Another activity awaits.
The first supercars that we can define is the GTO. GTO was very
supercar is a term that refers to milestones in motoring history. All supercars are limited series and the product of Enzo Ferrari's philosophy, aiming to make every new model the best car of its time. That means that every new addition to the lineage is the embodiment of leading-edge research that sets the standard for cars worldwide. Drive all the Ferrari supercars on this adventure. But for now, just enjoy the collector's piece that is the Gran Turismo Omologato. Or, like Mr. Pignati Morano said, simply GTO. In essence, a special version of another iconic Ferrari, the 308 GTS. And, as intended, it is one of the fastest street-legal production cars of its time. Interesting fact from my archives. Three-time racing world champion Niki Lauda owned one of the few GTOs produced. A gift from Enzo Ferrari himself.
Let's try that
takes me back to the Legacy Tour Ferrari organized back in 2024. A GTO tribute tour set in the stunning surroundings of the Italian Dolomites. Organized exactly 40 years after Ferrari introduced the supercar at the 1984 Geneva Motor Show. But enough from me. Just listen to the car you're driving. She'll tell you her story herself. Ferrari, my young friend. A world where legends live among us to tell their stories loud and clear. was delighted with that introduction. You may now head towards the northern part of the bay to make the acquaintance of the next two supercars in our Ferrari lineup. You heard me right. The next event will feature not one, but two cars for you to drive. On one hand, the inspired and inspiring Ferrari F40. And on the other hand, nothing less than a road-legal Formula One, the Ferrari F50. The Ferrari F40. Enzo Ferrari's ultimate vision.
Everybody reckons.
Ferrari F40, second vehicle of the manufacturer to earn the prestigious supercar status, and a car that has shaken the motorsports industry to its core. Timed to celebrate Ferrari's 40th anniversary, this Ferrari, bearing the apropos designation F40, was the last Ferrari automobile personally approved by Enzo Ferrari and made under the supervision of the Commendatore himself. The result is an aggressive car with animalistic behavior and a stripped-down interior befitting its obvious racing heritage. Brutal and uncompromising. A car that has since become the epitome of Ferrari's brand identity. A car that still is in the heart of many, the greatest sports car ever made. Fastest Ferrari ever created. This is a machine that has a mind of her own. Talk to her, listen to her, find your common ground. You'll get one of the best driving experiences of your life. Like you two had a deep conversation out there. Very well. This is how you make history.
when you ask people which is one of the most iconic cars, that
Ferrari Testarossa was quite the celebrity in her time. Movies, TV shows, magazines, and even video games, the Testarossa was everywhere, appealing to kids and adults alike. With its angular design, minimalistic lines, and signature side air intakes, this car was a poster child for aerodynamics. Precise, the exact model Motorfest has put in your hands is the 1991 re-engineered version of the Testarossa, introduced as the 512 TR, featuring a redesigned interior and a refined exterior to improve its already spectacular lines. Looks like you're getting the perfect stretches of road between Maui and Oahu to take the whole measure of it. A breath of fresh air and nostalgia.
Scuderia Ferrari in our history is extreme.
The Scuderia is what started it all. To understand what fuels the creation of every Ferrari ever made, especially the supercars, the racetrack is an indispensable stop. Racing cars were Enzo Ferrari's passion and obsession. This is what led him to found the Scuderia in 1929, which has played a major role in racing history. And born from this racing division, Ferrari as a brand and factory of excellence was created a few years later. Racing is what led Ferrari to create cars, and eventually supercars. Without his racing spirit and passion, there would be no Ferraris as we know them. Ferrari 365 GTB4 is the perfect vehicle for you to experience Ferrari racing as it felt back in the 70s. Before switching for a car about 45 years its junior. For this second lap, you'll be driving the FXXK. This car is quite peculiar. Essentially a laboratory-enhanced version of La Ferrari, a supercar you'll get to meet later on. It didn't compete, per se, but this insanely powerful car was used for years as an R&D test car, allowing Ferrari to collect precious data to ultimately improve their next official racing cars, as well as the supercars. Ferrari so extreme that it can never be driven on the road, nor qualify for any kind of official competition. But it's still a racing machine through and through. More than a car, the FXXK is an experiment for its makers and an experience for its drivers. This was a peek at Ferrari's glorious racetrack heritage, a heritage in which supercars are inextricably tied up.
What was the next name? The name was Enzo. Enzo.
fourth in the supercar bloodline, was just like her sisters before her, born from a strong desire to push supercars even further. As the first Ferrari of the century, and with a Scuderia on top of the racing world, the Enzo was meant to strike hard and set new standards for Ferrari cars, or rather, for the whole sports car industry. With the will to design, once more, nothing less than a road-legal Formula One, faster on the track but more civilized on the road, Ferrari went all out. And my word, did they deliver. Design by Pininfarina, featuring noticeable air intakes and an F1-inspired nose, gives this car aggressive, decisive, and impressive looks, while the engine is nothing short of engineering mastery, as you'd expect. Add to that better handling, better carbon brakes, and electronics that make the car as reliable on an everyday drive as it is savage on the racetrack. Latest 21st century tech alongside the legendary Ferrari Fury. Nothing short of a new performance benchmark. Her name alone shows how confident Ferrari was about this car. Owning one of the 399 plus one Ferrari Enzos in existence is like owning a piece of car history. Or, dare I say, like owning a piece of art. Heritage, luxury, and exclusivity. This is Enzo Ferrari's legacy.
La Ferrari.
There it is. It's 2013. And a new supercar emerges from the Maranello factory. In an era of astonishingly intense competition, Ferrari still treated their rivals to a true tour de force, a car that reshuffled the cards yet again. Strongest naturally aspirated Ferrari V12 to date, marking Ferrari's first steps into hybrid technology. For the first time in the company's history, petrol and electric working together full-time to deliver unprecedented levels of performance. And on top of all that, LaFerrari sports an F1 kinetic energy recovery system that constantly recaptures waste energy, stores it, and converts it into bursts of power when needed. Some lucky people got to witness technology peak improvements at both ends of the spectrum. Higher performance, lower consumption. Glorious achievement. Civilized, but also the fastest and most exhilarating road car ever made by the prancing horse, LaFerrari.
What makes Ferrari so unique?
Ferrari is a legendary sports car brand, born from the passion of a man. A passion for driving and racing. A passion for speed and competition. With the will to build cars, each one better than the last. Throughout the decades, this racing DNA never faded away. It informs every single decision made by the prancing horse. It fuels the relentless drive to explore car technology push it beyond and make it evolve. To design the most incredible cars in the world. Jewels of the road. Champions of the racetrack. Ferrari. It is cars that have become pop culture icons. Cars that share a special bond with millions of people. Whether you own a Ferrari or not, the name Ferrari rings like no other. It impacts and fascinates children and grown-ups alike. It is part of a collective consciousness. Ferrari cars are a vector for dreams. They're modern legends, both real and mythical in a way. They're an idea of what a sports car is, in both fiction and reality. Design that combines rage and glamour. Each Ferrari is a piece of art. And from the higher end of the splendor spectrum, each drive is a statement. Essence of the racing spirit, pop culture phenomenon, state-of-the-art ambassador. The combination of all these attributes made Ferrari a car brand that reached millions of people and brought them together. People that have, over the decades, formed a community like no other. Devout, passionate, dedicated. Because once again, no need to own a Ferrari to be part of the Ferrari world. Through almost 80 years, Ferrari has shaped car history. And as I speak, it is shaping its future. A new chapter of the Ferrari supercars story is being written. It's titled F80.
it's a challenge.
This was our exclusive Ferrari experience. Now, time to get your reward. Playlist is ready to try. Let's go try it.
I'm so happy. You made such a great impression with your Supra, Shingo even wanted to put the same Dragon sticker on his NSX. Honestly, you should come and see his car. Otherwise, he might sulk. Okay, let's focus. As you know, drifting is a bit of a hobby of mine. My job is to coach you by sharing my favorite drills. It's gonna be so cool. My first piece of advice is simple. If you want to drift, just accelerate and drift. This may sound basic, but it's the key. Your Nismo is powerful enough to slide along on its own when you're at high speed, so don't be afraid to keep your foot on the gas. Once you start, the only challenge is managing your tire placement. Ferris wheel here? And flying sharks too? I'm gonna stay here forever. Mastered skills. It's worth all the crew credits in the world. I love European cars, but I know almost nothing about them. Except that yours is a 953 horsepower, front-engine, rear-wheel drive car that supports its 1,848 kilo curb weight when it throws itself into a curve. Anyway, you're gonna show me what it's worth. On how to link the turns? While you're in a bend, release the throttle, turn the steering wheel to change course, and hit the throttle again. This weight transfer allows you to change direction quickly. Your turn. Great feel for this. Get that combo. Keep swinging.
For some action. What is next in line? always at your disposal.